Hey, what's up, bro? Speed 711 here. Serious story time. This is true story. And I'm curious if anyone else has any near-death experiences they would like to share. So in my childhood, I almost died more than 7 times, and this is the third time that I'm going to tell them this story. And the reason this is coming to mind is recently I saw a TV show about this lady named Omm Seti that had a near-death experience when she was 3 years old after falling and bumping her head. She was pronounced dead, but when they came back up to start to prepare the body, they found her sitting in the bed eating candy. But after that point in her life, she was saying things like she wanted to go home, this isn't her home, and come to find out that she was having all these visions of ancient Egypt and actually helping them rebuild the pyramids and things of that sort. And that really got me thinking because I was never exposed to, anything like that after my near-death experience, but I always felt like kind of out of place, like this wasn't my home, but I didn't know where home was. So what happened in this experience was I got a real bad electric shock, and I do not know how I survived because I didn't know what happened, but in learning about electric shocks, you're supposed to be trapped by the electricity, and somehow I got freed from it. And I don't know what saved me, so it's really weird. But I was 7 years old, and there was a street light in front of my house, and we go out there at nighttime, and there were bugs and bats and stuff flying around in the summertime, and we would throw rocks and do all kind of things to get the bats to chase the rocks. And someone scared me and said the bats will get in your hair and kill you, give you rabies, turn you into a vampire, something like that. So I'm a 7-year-old kid, I'm getting freaked out easily. So somehow I wind up outside at nighttime by myself one night, and I have a steak knife. I don't know if I found it on the ground or took it out of the house, but I have a knife in my hand, and the panel on this old street light is opened up in the back so I can see the wires inside. I'm a 7-year-old kid. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know any better. All I know is I'm trying to turn this light off. So I start sawing into this black wire inside of this light pole, and all of a sudden I started getting shaken violently. I remember that. And I didn't know what was going on. I don't know what electrocution is. I don't know what electric shock is. I don't even understand electricity hardly. I'm 7 years old. All I know is lights come on, right? So anyways, I felt like somebody grabbed me by the shoulders and just yanked me back. And I was on the ground. And I looked around thinking I'd got caught by somebody, and I was scared, but there was nobody there. So then I start really freaking out and I start crying. I really don't know what happened after that point. I guess I just went in the house crying, scared, and didn't tell anybody because I didn't know what had happened. I didn't know I'd almost died. I didn't know how bad I could have been injured or killed, or I might need to get medical attention. I didn't know anything. And I was asking my mother more recently and my sisters. I have older sisters too. I'm like, did I tell you what happened to me? And none of them knew that I almost died in the front yard, or maybe I did die and got saved. There was divine intervention. I don't really know what happened, but all I know is after that things got kind of weird. I'll get into that later, but for the purpose of this video, years later when I started learning about electricity, and I actually took electricity and things like that when I got older, and I learned about electric shock, and I'm like, that's what happened to me. And they're always like, if you see someone getting electrocuted, don't touch them because they can't let go. And if you touch them, you won't be able to let go either. So I don't know what touched me to free me. All I know is I couldn't move and I was just getting shaken so bad. So maybe just getting shaken so bad could free me. I don't know if that's true. Can that happen? Can you shake yourself free? I've heard you can't. Heard you can't let go and it just holds you, even though it's shaking you. But something pulled me off of that because there was no one else there. And I felt like someone grabbed me, but like I said, to the mind of a child, there was nobody there. That's what freaked me out more. I didn't get hurt. It didn't hurt. I remember getting shaken violently, and I remember feeling like I got pulled away, and I thought somebody was there, but I looked around and there was nobody there, and that's what scared me. So that's really weird, right? I don't know. If anybody can answer that knows anything about electrocution, can it shake you until you get let go? Or, how long should it be fatal? I was reading about this man working on these light poles. I'll put some details in the description. And he basically grabbed the wrong side of the wire instead of the dead side. He grabbed the live side, killed him there on the spot. His crew was there. They tried to bring him back to life. they couldn't, so people do have fatalities off of these street lights. And so I don't know how I survived this experience, but I did. And this isn't the only time. I mean, when I was a baby, I almost died by drowning. Almost bled to death when I was 4 years old when I broke my leg with a compound fracture. And before they could get me to the hospital, I was just bleeding out. Survived that. There were some car wrecks involved. I got hit by a car. And I've never been injured too seriously. I mean, these are close calls with death, but something always managed to help me survive. So I can expand on any of those, or I can get into my thoughts of higher powers and things of that sort. But right now, I'm just really curious, do you have any near-death experiences? And if you know about electric shock, can you get electrocuted so severely that you basically shake yourself loose from the electricity? Because that is the only explanation for what happened to me, unless there was some kind of divine intervention. So let me know what you think about that. And until next time, all right, Brad, good luck with it.